For those of you who are wondering where those extra Sundays of ours have gone, they're at Patreon. If you subscribe to QF on Patreon in the link given in the description to the Black Kluge level or higher, you're going to get access to not only the Sunday episodes that are missing from our regular free Sunday lineup, but you'll also get 4 extra episodes per month on Patreon that are unavailable anywhere else. It wasn't as much of a train wreck as the first interview by far, but that's because he wasn't as fucked up. But that first one was legendary. That if those of you who recall, it was in somewhere in the 60s or so, like that of our list of episodes on YouTube and Podbean and what have you. And Sam was in for that one. And my God, in some ways that might be one of my favorite episodes because the pauses and the dead air.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was, but then thankfully because he performed, I don't think in that first one they performed, did they?
No, the first one was just him like at his house recovering from beer pong with
not
Post Malone.
Post Malone.
Post Malone, yeah. And so he was high out of his mind on that one. This one, there's a lot of pauses and he gets thrown at some of the questions about his sobriety and is he clean?
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, we'll get to it when we get to it. So
that's right.
Yeah, he's very kind of monotone, Machine Gun, that is, and doesn't directly answer some of the questions. He kind of sidesteps them. So it takes him a few minutes. And I watched the video of the interview and you could see like his eyes doing a little bit of the darting dance and then trying to think of how he wants to answer it. And just, it's just cringe all around.
Well, the other thing is, guys, I almost sympathized a little with him on this in this particular episode. I did in the first one too, actually, even though I thought he was a waste case. And this one, he doesn't sound much better. But some of the things he was talking about in terms of the criticism he's received and blah blah blah, I get it. But still, when you're fucking Megan Fox, a lot of complaints you get really just the only thing came up was wah. That's the only thing the first thing that came up in my head was wah. I'm screwing one of the hottest chicks ever. Wah. Allegedly, exactly. Could be screwing, Pete Davidson. But either way, before we get into that, there's a one blind that I checked out that I thought was interesting, and we don't have so many for this particular episode, but because the Johnny Depp trial is going on, we will be covering that after we get through with our Alec Baldwin stuff. Sam and I just recorded an Alec Baldwin first part of some coverage of videos that have been out, and it's really good. But again, the editing process, it's not a super priority. So when we put that out, you guys will know it, and it will be on another channel completely. So we're not going to mix it up with the Howard Stern stuff. Radio Karate will go on the channel because that's just an add-on. And this is also, but I really didn't want to get a third show thrown into, quite frankly, we'll call it something else, and when we announce it, you guys will all know, and yes, it will be free. But either way, Amber Heard's testimony this week, because she's been on the stand, I've never been more entertained by somebody fumbling on a fucking stand.
Just the way that she kind of stutters through her explanations, answers to the questions. She's also been caught using
what looks like
a script. No, well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
No, she's like quoted movies, like
yes. Supposedly she quoted from The Talented Mr. Ripley, I think, and a
scene from Gone Girl where they use a bottle inappropriately on a woman's private parts. So, she suggested that, and the lawyer had to clarify all that he shoved a bottle up her vag, and just that's. That and The Talented Mr. Ripley, if you look at the screen, and it's just like she was given a script, but she goes off script kind of. And some of the things she says, they make no sense. There's so many TikToks and great Instagram grabs of people like putting what she said into video form, and it doesn't hold up.
No.
So,
and especially when you transcribe it and you make subtitles. If you add subtitles to her testimony, it's more frustrating than when I had to transcribe a Henry Hill interview on Stern, because 16 people were talking in the studio, and you can't just go Howard, Henry, it's Howard, Artie, Fred, Robin, Gary.
Yeah.
You're forgetting who to type, whose name to type in terms of the order. But when we do get to cover it, my God, just her testimony alone, I could make 1,000 episodes covering it.
Right. And I'm not taking a side in either of this. I find them both to be at fault.
Mm-hmm. They're shitheads.
And disgusting people in their own ways, where she's more of what they call the borderline personality disorder, and he's more of a narcissistic, like King Baby.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of deal. So women like that are drawn to men like that, which makes me wonder, is Beef a borderline personality? Does she have these things? And I don't have enough research, so I'd put that out there to Bob D.
Yeah.
And maybe anybody else with some psychology info in our group, put it in the comments. And I'm going to do some more research on that one, because I'm kind of interested in how borderline personality women could be attracted to narcissistic men and how that plays out. It's a little dance they do where they both get off on getting the other one triggered.
Yeah, they're very much a push and pull kind of relationship from what I gathered, and the blinds have been coming out regularly since the first deposition, which I sent you the link to. And that first one, I don't know if you got a chance to listen to the 2016 one and watch it.
I did.
That her baseline is nuts. Like her just the way she speaks. This is not a person who's right in the head. So histrionic personality. Yes, I believe that diagnosis. And sometimes it's a case where you want to crowbar your belief into someone's, like you want to force your belief into to fit the situation. But I think it's absolutely spot on in this case.
Also, the body language guys who do a show on YouTube, there's 4 of them. They broke that down really well. You sent that to me. I watched that.
It was fascinating.
Very telling. I learned all kinds of things, about the chin muscle and the forehead. And keep in mind, this woman's been getting Botox. And when you get Botox, apparently, I didn't know this, but I've learned it through research, that you get bruises in your cheekbone and around your eye sockets. So it's very possible the pictures she took were from Botox, not from Johnny. I'm not letting Johnny off the hook. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I think he's a big fucking asshole, but I hate that they're both getting so much attention from all this, because that's what they thrive on. That's their fuel.
Yeah.
Their supply. So it's on a 10-day break as of today. We're recording, and then it'll come back for like 2 more weeks. But also, I want to see James Franco. I want to see Elon Musk, but I think Musk might get out of it. I think Franco's going to show up, and then they're going to do the cross exam of Amber when they come back from break.
I can't wait for that.
Should be really good, because they just finished the direct, and now we get the cross. So I feel like I'm earning a lawyer degree as I watched all this, because I didn't know all the terms, foundation, or, I knew hearsay, but just some of the things that go on. And, the lawyer objected to his own line of questioning. How horrible is that for Amber Heard's lawyer? That's such a bad look.
We'll
get into it when we break it down more, but that's just a teaser for what we have coming up. And I definitely want to be in on that, because I am glued to this trial and all the TikToks and Instagrams that people are making fun of it for. They're phenomenal. The lawyer was giving the middle finger on his cheek as he was sitting there listening to Amber. Like, what disrespect. And Johnny's just there giggling and doodling. Oh, man.
It really, hopefully they'll make it into a Netflix. Actually, you know what? They could not make it into a Netflix show. They could not make it into HBO anything like they did with the OJ thing, because it wouldn't be as entertaining. It just wouldn't be.